Glad you're with us. It is day 9 of the tournament. Last 2 quarterfinals for the women, last 3 quarterfinals for the men.
Quindi 0. 15 love.
What time did you get out of here last night?
An early 1 a.m.
Is there such a thing as an early 1 a.m.?
Petch and I had a Lime scooter it back.
Net. First serve.
Who's better on the Lime scooter, me or Petch?
Oh, you are, by far.
Thank you.
By
I
far.
appreciate
you're the better captain, leading with the... Petch was talking to me in meters. I was like, Petch, I don't know what a 500 meters is.
Rain really scuttled the schedule yesterday. So, Coco, we know that these two players have their strength on the backhand wings. Who's got the better forehand? In other words, whose weakness is stronger? Not that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a tough question because I think power-wise, Coco Gauff has the better forehand. Consistency-wise, I'm going to give that edge to Mirra Andreeva.
40-0. 40 love.
Coco 3 in the world at the moment. She will be up to 2 on Monday with Swiatek dropping down to 4. Love hold for Coco to get us started on this Wednesday. Let's take you back to their most recent meeting. It was just 2 weeks ago in Madrid. That first set was tight. There were 2 set points for Andreeva.
Andreeva serving for it in the first set. Just got a little bit of passive, and you see Coco being able to step inside the baseline. Once she was able to get this break for the set, it was one-way traffic. I think just Mirra losing her mental focus here, not staying mentally tough, showing her age a little bit, and Coco Gauff getting the early break. She just cruised from there, served well, hit well off the baseline, and just beat Mirra mentally more than anything.
So that was their 3rd meeting. All of them have gone Coco's way. They met at the U.S. Open in 2023, as you see Conchita Martinez, who's coaching Andreeva. That was en route to Coco's U.S. Open title. They met in round 2. Of course, Mirra was still just 16 when they met at that U.S. Open. She's still just 18 today, already up to 7 in the world. She could rise up to 5 if she wins this title. How do you evaluate Mirra's serve early in her career? What kind of weapon is it?
I think it's an improving weapon. I definitely think with some time, Conchita Martinez, who has been with Mirra for, it's been a full year now, that she's going to learn how to be a better server. When she came out, she was so young and lanky that she really used the serve as a point starter. Now she's getting better direction on the serve, better pace on the serve, and that will constantly improve. I think she definitely has the ability to get more out of it. She's a taller woman, and the more strength that she gets, that leg drive will be working a lot better on the serve, and she'll be able to get some good pop and a lot of free points off of it.
40-15.
She's already improved her serve this year pretty significantly. Last year, Andreeva only held 2/3 of her service game, so she was getting broken 1 out of every 3 times. This year, that's up to holding 75% of the time.
Coco Andreeva.
Exchange of holds to get us started. Coco, we saw Conchita Martinez there, as you mentioned, a little over a year now that they've been together. I mean, when you think about,
no slides.
when you listen to Conchita here giving instructions, the great work she did with Muguruza, the best of her career, the time she spent with Karolina Pliskova. Is not Conchita Martinez considered one of the elite coaches in women's tennis now?
I would agree with that statement. I mean, how, with all her experience and what she's gone through, not only from a young player to also being a seasoned vet, she can coach in many different areas. And you hear the early coaching from Conchita of telling Mirra to hit through her forehand on the return. Don't slice it back. I think that's going to be a good key to see where we're at in Mirra's confidence on that wing.
One kind of interesting coaching twist in this match is that Jean-Christophe Farrell, who is part of the two-headed monster that's coaching Gauff right now, coached Andreeva in 2023. Farrell had been with Coco, but when the Brad Gilbert pair-Reba combo came into Coco's camp, he moved out, worked with Andreeva, so maybe some insight there. Coco getting her volleys warm for her doubles match coming up later this afternoon.
Great move. Bravo. Bravo.
She'll be over on grandstand with her new partner, Alexandra Iala.
A cute story, Iala is sliding in the DMs.
Uh-huh.
Never know what happens if you slide.
Next, first serve.
Don't go on.
I won't show you what's going on.
I definitely shouldn't see it.
Nope.
Double faults have been very much under control for Coco this week.
To me, for such a young player, Andreeva, she's able to play with such confidence. I feel like when she's going up against Coco, you see in the early stages of just not the same confidence that she goes into each and every round. You hardly hear Conchita starting that early in coaching, and also just game-wise, she's being a little passive here.
Confident forehand up the line, came in behind it, overhead put away, and we've got 3 holds to get us started. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday afternoon in Rome. To take some of the youngest quote-unquote records from Gauff. One of the ones that she stole was when she won Dubai this February. She became the youngest 1,000 level champion ever. Gauff had held that mark. Andreeva added a second one a couple weeks later at Indian Wells. We're calling that the desert double, Dubai and Indian Wells. Different deserts.
No matter how you phrase it, that is not easy to do, to win a 1,000 event. That's why you usually see the best in the world do it time and time again. Especially when the 1000s are 2 weeks long. It's like a Grand Slam. To play well for 2 weeks, as the opponents get better and better and tougher, that is something that very few can hold that mantle of being a champion at the end of the 2 weeks.
So Andreeva's got 2 of them back-to-back this year in the desert. Coco also has 2 at this level. She won Cincinnati in 2023, just a couple weeks before she won her U.S. Open. And then she won Beijing last fall. So altogether, Coco has 9 singles titles.
40-15.
When she gets the next one and gets into the double-digit club, it's a pretty small club of active players who've won 10 or more titles. Not as many as you think.
Coco Gauff.
Is Coco a couple of days away from Olympic Stadium? Is about 300 yards away. There's going to be another massive soccer game there tonight. AC Milan, Bologna tonight, 300 yards from here. You think this crowd is going to be nuts between that and the tennis?
It is going to be wild out here. I mean, we're all, what, 100 yards from the stadium?
They use the same entrances, the same parking lots, the same concourses for the soccer and the tennis. And so we saw it the other night when Juventus played here. It was wild. We're told it's going to be even wilder tonight. Some misses on the Andreeva ledger. That's a good look at Pietrangeli, one of the most beautiful courts in the world.
And the soccer stadium in the back, the Olympic Stadium. Swimming just off to the right. I was watching the water polo players train yesterday.
I know you've got water polo in your family.
Yeah, my younger sister plays water polo at USC.
They had the Italian national synchronized swimming team out practicing the other day. I'd never seen that in person. Mirra says that she and Conchita make a game plan before she goes out for every match, just some tactical focus points, and that most often when she gets out onto the court, she forgets everything that they planned. Wimbledon champion, Hall of Famer, and well-respected tenista. Great low volley from Andreeva, and then Coco had the short backhand, couldn't bring it up and down.
That's a little bit of the danger when you approach into the Coco.
Coco Andreeva.
All right, Andreeva keeps pace.
Smart, Mirra.
There they go.
Very smart.
That's 100 yards to our right. Diving pool in the background. You ever go off the, you ever do that?
It would take a lot of money. My mother lost a bet when she was a swimmer to do that, and she said nothing hurt more than going off of that. She was scared out of her mind.
I would think so.
When she was training for her own Olympics as a swimmer.
It's the Stadio Olimpico del Nuoto.
Time to push.
Lock 15.
It's great heaviness. Great heaviness on that ball, on that forehand wing. That's something that we've seen throughout Gauff's matches of what she's improved. She's gotten more depth on that ball. She's gotten more pace from each and every round. And that just allows the ball to work really well off of the clay, getting well above the shoulders. That's a broken racket.
30-15.
I don't know from experience what a broken racket sounds like.
In fact, I consider you one of the leading experts on the planet.
Yeah.
So if she can play 1 point with it, she'll avoid the fine, maybe.
That's exactly right, Habes. I am an expert in that.
Was that your play? You'd crack it and then play 1 point?
Of course.
The good news for Andreeva, although she may not see it this way, is that she's got 3 winners and 12 unforced errors, which is a sloppy start by any standard, but she's on serve.
Come on, Mirra, come on.
Get out of here.
First serve. Coco Gauff.
Up the tee for the ace, and Coco off to a solid start, 4-3. She's also brought the forehand power up since the beginning of the tournament.
And that's what I was talking about at the start. Coco Gauff has the power side of things on the forehand. When we're talking about these two women having a weaker forehand than backhand, Mirra's got the consistency, but she hasn't been that consistent today. Oh. 6 unforced errors off of that forehand wing for Mirra Andreeva.
Zero 15. Long 15. 0-30.
Another miss, love 30, and Coco seems to be hitting that forehand today, not just with that power we showed you, but with depth, with margin. Maybe the best she's hit it this week.
By any means possible, Mirra, even going back to the 12 and under days with a bit of moonball action.
Don't sleep on Andreeva's volleys either. She's also in the top 20 in doubles.
Silver medalist as well.
That's right. Playing with Deanna Schneider. It's the gold medalists that Coco and Ayala will play later on today, Irani and Paolini.
$15-30. 15-30.
Coco herself has been doing a great job of continuing to pick on the forehand of Andreeva.
You know, that forehand misses, and Andreeva with chances to break back. She is such a good returner.
15-40.
Last year, Andreeva broke serve in 44% of her return games. She was the third best breaker of serve on tour. The woman she's playing, Gauff, was the best.
$30-40. 30-40.
Conchita, by the way, won this title 4 times. In fact, she won it 4 times in a row.
Only 4?
Exchange of breaks late in the opening set. Gauff.
Come on, Mirra, you can do it. Come on, be brave. Let's go.
Maybe getting broken. Andreeva, that was the injection of life that she needs. She's been playing quite a bit flat out here. Emotionally and mentally. I think she's showing a bit of youth right now, of mentally kind of disappearing. When the scoreline got tight, came out a bit nervous. And Coco's earned that right to put that fear into Andreeva.
does. She got to the drop shot pretty easily, but Andreeva with the lob right over her head.
30-15.
This is the all-court awareness that Mirra has. Throwing in the drop shot wasn't the best one, but noticing how close Coco had crashed the net after the drop shot.
She had a pass lined up there.
30.
Andreeva starting to bring the first serve percentage up. It was below 30% for her first 3 service games. Now up in the 40s. Well, you hate to miss the moon ball. And especially at such a high stakes moment. Break point, set point for Gauff.
Right here, Coco. Every point. Legs, come on. Determination. There you go.
Super, great job. Right here, Cole.
Hello.
Good chip.
Withstands the forehand test on that last rally, gets her second break, and closes out the set on. So set 2 begins. Set 1 was not what Andreeva had in mind when this day began, was it, Coco? 6 winners, 20 unforced.
No, she definitely, to me, looks scared out there, especially on the forehand side. Coco has been peppering that side from the serve onwards.
I mean, that's not a word that people have used a ton with Andreeva earlier in her career. She's scared. She's actually, to this point, stood up to the big moments and the big opponents pretty bravely.
I would agree with you, but this matchup just, she doesn't look ready for it. To me, scared can manifest in a lot of different ways. It could manifest in passiveness of shot selection. Mirra not going into being the first strike type of tennis. She's pushing that forehand back, chipping it a bunch of times. And now she's gone completely to the moon balls. To me, if Mirra was ready for the moment to take on this challenge. She would be the one challenging Coco, putting Coco on the defensive, making her move side to side, making Coco Gauff chip her own forehand back.
Net. Second serve.
Oh, what about that wand work? Just a little slicey chip cross court and short. Where do they teach that?
40-15.
This is a squash shot if I've ever seen one.
Okay to try stuff.
Let's go, champ.
Here we go.
Great job.
Great hand skills. Coco a little slow to get forward after her great forehand.
All right, so it's a hold to start set 2 for Gauff after taking set 1 with a late break. Here are your first set highlights. All holds to get to game 7. There were no breaks until game 8.
And Coco Gauff was playing really solid tennis. Mirra was definitely a little high on the unforced error count and just mentally went away here. You see her already walking to the towel before the point was even complete, and Coco had an opportunity to serve out this first set, but Mirra was awakened. She was awakened by getting broken, started to change up her tactics, started to throw in a bit of moon balls, but when push came to shove, Coco was peppering that forehand wing from the word go. Mirra is very unhappy with her play, but that is just a bit of immaturity from Mirra Andreeva.
Please.
And almost exclusively serving to the Andreeva forehand.
And giving her no breaks out there, not letting her breathe on that wing, getting good direction on that deuce side, but the ad is more forehand middle, forehand body.
Oh man, that lands in. Well, that was an odd turn of events. We didn't think that the previous ball from Gauff was going to land in. She patty caked it on an awkward ball and ended up winning the point.
Awkward clay court tennis. That's just what we're going to be seeing for the next month.
Great can opening of the court by Gauff off the ground, and love 40 here.
Love 40.
breaks at love to seize the lead here in set 2.
Conduce 2 giochi a 0.
Andreeva did not make one first serve throughout that whole service game. It's a hard way to live out here with playing one of the best returners in the game. We heard Conchita in the early stages of the first set. Use your legs more in the first set. Like you were saying, Brett, she was in the low 30s for a majority of that first set in the first serve percentage.
15 pari. 15-all.
Andreeva likes the clay. She had an amazing run, her best slam to date at Roland Garros last year, all the way to the semifinals.
Net and first serve.
Famously beat Sabalenka in the quarters. From a set down, no less. One of her 3 titles to date has been on the clay.
$15.30. 15-30.
Chance to break right back, which is what Andreeva did initially in the opening set.
15-40.
When she got broken for 5-3, broke right back for 5-4.
And this was better hitting from Mirra, hitting through a majority of the balls, changing direction on that backhand wing.
Right on the baseline with that forehand.
30-40.
The strength that it takes Habes to be able to get that ball down. That is some good living right there from Coco Gauff. See her load those legs to be able to get her body high enough to bring that ball down.
But that lunging forehand drifts wide, and Andreeva does return the favor. So a trade of breaks early in set 2. So Andreeva briefly down a set and a break, but gets it back. Draws Coco in with the drop shot and then passes her cross court.
15-0.
Andreeva already looking for what would be the 10th top 10 win of her young career. She's got 5 already this year. 5 top 10 wins. Did something very rare Andreeva did en route to that Indian Wells title, and that was that in the semis and the finals, she beat Sabalenka and Swiatek back-to-back #1 and #2 in the world on consecutive days. Only 3 players under the age of 18 have ever beaten 1 and 2 at the same event.
30-15.
Steffi Graf, Serena Williams,
Mirra, you're just falling on the
and
court.
Mirra
Jump
Andreeva.
up. Use your legs. Come on.
Pari. 30-all.
All right, well, how about 3 breaks on the trot? That's what Gauff has a chance to do here.
Be disciplined. Come on.
Break point erased on Andreeva's biggest serve of the match so far. She cracked that one 119.
Come on.
Great athleticism from Coco Gauff to track down this drop shot, but I just don't understand the shot selection here. Playing one of the most athletic players, one of the quickest players out there on tour. And she's been winning by hitting her forehand. Like points like that. That's how she's gotten back into this set, to get it back on serve. And like Conchita's been saying, it's all a mindset for Mirra, and that's what I've been harping on, is she's showing sometimes her youth out here of not only indecision, but lack of confidence.
Vantaggio Andreeva. Signori, per cortesia rimanere in silenzio prima che il punto sia finito. Grazie.
Come on.
So chair umpire Ettore Russo asking for quiet during the points. So Andreeva avoids being broken for the 4th time in this match. Oh, bad bounce.
Long 15.
By the way, Ettore Russo, who's in the chair today, was also in the chair for Andreeva's last match against Clara Tauson, where things got a little squirrely between Tauson and somebody in the crowd who was taunting her during her service motion, and he had to get involved. So when he was asking for quiet during the points, there was some history there.
An umpire that does something? I'm shocked.
Coco,
Shocked. Oh, it was
Coco.
low-hanging fruit. Couldn't help myself.
You've still got some unfinished business with these people.
Never ends.
15:30. 15:30.
Compete right
Yeah,
now.
that guy will be next door later today, rooting for AC Milan.
Don't forget to be close to the line, eh? There you can be aggressive. Va. Come on.
Starting to gain a little confidence, it looks like, Andreeva.
She certainly has. And again, she was just woken up by getting broken at 2-love by Coco Gauff. She changed her game plan, started to be more aggressive with the forehand, especially taking that forehand up the line with a high percentage, high margin over the net, big target, playing into the Coco Gauff backhand, which I think she could benefit from.
Andreeva.
First double of the day. It wasn't close, and it hands the break to Andreeva. So from 2-love down in this set, Andreeva goes 3-hour mark of this match. Andreeva digging in. Drop shot has been less than optimal for her today.
Love 15.
Especially when she's been done such a good job of being aggressive on that forehand.
Love 30.
We're not there yet.
Oh, just a sliver of the line. And that was at love 30, a brave choice.
Definitely a brave choice, but those are the shots that have gotten her into this position of being up a break now, using that forehand line.
Another example, you pointed it out earlier, of Coco taking a ball way up over the shoulder and muscling it into the open court. It just shows you how strong she is, and she's got break chances. Crowd seems to be irritating Andreeva a little bit.
Grazie.
It's folks on the mezzanine, on the concourse above the court, that are walking, and they're in her sideline. Yeah. Whether it was that or Gauff dialing in, it's another break for the American, her fourth And we are back on serve.
Having been in some of these situations, everything just bothers you a little bit more when you aren't playing your best tennis or you're down in the scoreline facing break points. As you see the people walking up top. If you're leading 4-1, you're not even noticing that. We're closer to that Grand Slam.
Yeah, we've got a t-shirt for every one.
But this has been a new thing in tennis, to be able to allow people to find their seats in between games, so you don't have to wait for the sit-down break to grab a seat, which I think is a great innovation. People pay good money to watch good tennis. It's just not always the easiest to get out of here. You found that out against during the center match.
This place does clog up a little bit. And so there was a double fault to end her previous service game that gave the breakaway and one early in this. They do tend to come in bunches for Gauff.
At least I'll say for Coco and how much we've talked about her serve, at least she double faults the same way. So you know what the problem is. She collapses far too quickly on her second serve. She folds up. Guy Fritz always had a saying, "You're folding like a cheap suit." Guy Fritz, Taylor Fritz's his dad was my first coach, and you got to stay up tall on your serve. Keep that left arm strong. Helps you create the leg drive and also get the topspin to go up and out into the court. If you are collapsing and pulling down too quickly, there's not much left in the racket to be able to get the work up and over the ball. She does a much better job of that on the first serve, but you still see how her head pulls down before she's even made contact.
Coco, at the end of 2023, had a serving camp with Andy Roddick where they kind of adjusted motion a little bit, shortened it. She was trying to take some of the risk out of her service game and has brought the speed down on her first serve this year. Another forehand miss from Andreeva. Gauff gets the break back and noses out in front 4-3 on serve. The doubles numbering just 2 today. She can live with that. Line schedule. So Casper Ruud trying to keep the momentum rolling after that great performance in Madrid. There's Papa Christian Ruud. And you can watch that one on the app, and we'll get over there as events warrant.
Allez, Mirra.
White light? Is that what she said?
That's what I thought she said.
I wonder what that means.
I've heard of the Gilbert red light, green light, yellow light concept, but white?
Ask Conchita about that.
Let's go. Way to be aggressive.
You still haven't given me your shoe size for the New Balance Miu Miu collaboration.
Let's go,
And I'm getting you for your birthday.
Well, we're not done with the tournament. I'm waiting to the bitter end, so I keep, probing the question and keep working you down.
Is your shoe size going to change between now and the end of the tournament?
No. Stays the same.
Folks are asking, by the way, on social media that if you want to buy the Coco Gauff New Balance Miu Miu collection, either the shoes or the apparel, won't be available till September to the public.
Boy, how well that lines up close to my birthday in December.
Andreeva.
All right, Andreeva settles back down with a hold.
That's it.
Quattro giochi pari.
Do not save any energy.
Beat the ball. Come on, beat the ball.
Organizzo.
Allez, Mirra.
Conchita wants her to redline here. Don't save any energy.
And smartly so, she gets a break here, serving for the set. Now's the time to push.
That is such a fine needle to thread from the center stripe of the court to go off backhand.
On every point.
15 love.
Next point. Come on. Lean forward.
But if these are the shots that Coco Gauff has to come up with to hold serve, Mirra is doing her job. You want to make the best players play their best tennis
30 love.
when the scoreline gets tight. Prove to me that you're playing in the moment. And right now, Coco Gauff certainly is.
Another free point off the first serve. Coco has gotten a handful of those today.
You can still come back.
Andreeva, on the other hand,
Don't
is
care.
winning less than 50% of the points on her own first serve. Forehand line right on the tape, and that was a confident hold from Gauff, who is now on serve. What a delicate little slice up the line from Andreeva. Creative.
I thought Coco Gauff had her dead to rights here.
0.
After this good approach, Mirra going to the chip. This backhand volley, I thought Coco had won this point for sure, but the extra effort from Mirra.
Rete 0. 30 love.
Oh.
40-0. 40 love. Net. First serve. Andreeva.
That's a clutch hold at love from Andreeva with her back against the wall.
5 giochi pari.
So
5 games all.
I'm not supposed to mention this until we show you the video later, but it's kind of making the rounds on social media that Yannick Sinner met the Pope this afternoon.
As we found out, the Pope is an avid tennis player and fan.
Amazing videos that we'll show you here in a little bit of the audience that Sinner and his family had at the Vatican today.
15-0, 13 love.
Awesome combination.
Mirra getting a bit of a taste of her own medicine with this dropper from Coco. Watch how Coco follows this drop shot forward, takes a couple of steps in to be able to get this lob over Andreeva's head.
Out. 40-0. 40 love. Coco Gauff.
Now Gauff answers Andreeva's love hold with one of her own, and she gets back to the doorstep of closing out this. Into this one, another must hold for Andreeva. Coco has broken her 4 times today. Too good.
Using every inch of the court here from Mirra and giving Coco Gauff so many different looks, from the moon ball to driving through the backhand to the drop shot.
Zero. 30 love.
Break out in angle there. Come on.
Couple moments in this match where Andreeva has had very little margin for error, and she's answered the bell. Down an early set and a break here. Twice with her back against the wall in the second set. Played maybe her most confident tennis when she's had to.
40 love. With this. Guarda 15. 40-15.
From 40 love to 40-30. Mirra has made things a bit trickier. herself.
I think that was Maradona.
They're really testing us on our football knowledge.
We're at the very outer limit. All right, forehand drifts a smidge wide, and we will play a tiebreak. Andreeva, in her young career, has been absolutely lights out in breakers. 14-5 over the course of her young career. 5-1 this year, Andreeva, in tiebreaks. Coco well over 500 as well.
Go.
Jean-Christophe Farrell and Matt Daly side by side in Camp Gauff. It was a brilliant lob from Gauff. It was born out of desperation, but man, did she execute it perfectly.
Let's go, Mirra, let's go. Please.
That's what tiebreakers show. Ooh, careful.
Yeah, no kidding. That ricochets in the wrong place and you're going home.
2-1, 2-1. Go.
She's been flirting with a bit of danger.
Come on, Mirra, you got this.
Broken racket earlier in the first set. Hit a ball out of the stadium. Towards the end of that first. And yes, I realized pot calling kettle.
Takes one to know one. Refusing to surrender that point, even though she was on the severe defensive.
3-1, go.
Good things happen when you get one more ball back.
Especially on the clay.
Come on.
3-2, go.
Keep it explosive, eh? Come on.
she missed that. She covered so much real estate to claw back into that point, Coco, and missed the easy one at the end.
3-all.
Definitely been an emotional tiebreaker for Mirra out here. She is still fighting.
That was innocent. She just bunted a ball over to the other side of the net so Coco could serve, and the ball could happen to be running across. That was no harm there. A little variety off the Gauff racket.
4-3. 4-3, Gauff. Cinque-3. 5-3, Gauff.
Definitely give credit where credit's due. Coco Gauff has been so tough, so resilient on that forehand wing. When picking up just a bit here. Continuing to get the heaviness and the pace on that side.
Back on serve. With that put away, their winner numbers are exactly equal. They've each got 22 winners in the match. Andreeva has 46 unforced errors, 18 more than Gauff.
Shot of the match right there. I mean, two grueling rallies back to back.
Partita incontro Gauff.